Good day, super short vid. The best, inverted commas, book on tracks and tracking. Yeah, the art, the science, the art of tracking. For me, okay, it's very difficult to say the best, this competitive world. I don't like that sort of thing, really. But when something truly stands out, head and shoulders above everything else, I don't know how many books I've read on tracking, but I'd just say 20, 15, 20, I don't know, quite a few. And one stands out I don't know, like a star stands out in the darkness of space, like morning star stands out on the horizon, yeah, in the coming of dawn, yeah, truly just as so much further ahead of everything else. Everything else, I've read all the super popular ones, I'm sure. And here it is. Tracks by Max Jones. Yeah? Now, Max Jones was a white Australian police officer, but he worked with a team of Australian Aboriginal trackers who you hear about in this incredible, unbelievably inspiring, beautiful book. Not only is it by far and away, to me, in my personal opinion, by far and away the most enjoyable, inspiring, incredible, insightful book on tracking in existence, to my knowledge, in my experience. It is also one of the most enjoyable, readable, and inspirational books on any subject. Now, I am a massive reader as well as a massive practitioner. So there's a few classic books in a few genres which have really changed my life, so to speak, inverted commas. Yeah, just a few things that are powerful enough to embark a soul, embark a person on a new era of life, or totally bolster their involvement therein. For example, The Martial Arts by Michael Random. This is one of the most beautiful books in existence. But, although this is a humble little publication, the beauty, the truth, the knowledge, the life, the inspiration, the shades of humanity, the knowledge of tracking herein make it a work of extraordinary beauty and significance and import. Do not fail if you love or are interested faintly in tracking to read it. If you're interested in bushcraft, Australian Aboriginals, culture, or if you're just an interested human in our world, read this, Tracks by Max Jones, and you will meet Albert, Morgan Williams, Mudu, Richie, Jimmy James, and the other fantastic and amazing Australian Aboriginal trackers. Yeah, I've got a YouTube name, Apache Wolf Scout. I deeply revere the Apache. Yeah, deeply, but also the Raramuri, the Cheyenne, nearly every native people. Funnily enough, although I was born in Nigeria, particularly amongst Yorubans, so I've always had a deep interest in West African and African culture. But significantly from all my childhood, the most significant was actually Australia and Australian Aboriginals. No, actually on a par with Africa, actually. So just as a little story about me, I used to suffer from terrible nightmares when I was a whippersnapper. And the El Blossom that is, used to come in and without, I don't know why she did it, but she figured out that she could come in and sit beside me in bed and describe the Australian outback to me. And it chilled me out, man. I felt at home. Suddenly I felt like, no worries, man. Here I am, back in the outback. The eucalypts, the budgerigars, dry sand, and mythologically somehow, in my imagination, this figure would come in, this black figure. My Australian Aboriginal, I don't know, double, friend, guardian, who knows? That's just a bit about me, Apache Wolf Scout. Yeah? O capoeira apelido a onça voado andando selva. Yeah? So, get it from the library, borrow it, do not steal it, read it. Yeah? Buy it if you've got the money. By the way, another interesting book on our Australian Aboriginal trackers and tracking is this, Hunters and Trackers of the Australian Desert by Pat Lowe. By Pat Lowe, yeah. Now, she married an Australian Aboriginal called Jimmy Pike, who was a proper old school fella in many ways, yeah. That's him, yeah. Okay, so he's also an artist, yeah, famous artist. I will probably give a little bit of a review of this wonderful book elsewhere, but although it's fascinating and elucidating tracking and a really good book, I cannot compare it to this, as I cannot compare any tracking book. I don't care what it is. Enlighten me, show me another book that can even compare to it, yeah? You know, I've read the Tom Brown stuff, so I've read the sort of various military tracking guides, I've read sort of, you know, all sorts of different books. But here is the bee's knees of tracking, mate. Love it. This was supposed to be super short, yeah? The truth is, I've made several short films about this book that I love. It's probably one of the 2 or 3 best books in my entire life. You know, Thorburns' Birds of the World, as I was a whippersnapper, and West African Birds when I was living in Nigeria as a child. You know, and then you've got your martial arts, Michael Random, various translations of the Tao Te Ching, which influenced me massively as a whippersnapper. And basically, in this book, I've made several films relating some of the stories and some of the life of Jimmy James and Moodoo and Richie and Morgan Williams and Albert and so on. And I haven't put them out there. And suddenly I wanted to my intention was to make like a 30-second, 1-minute little film. But I've done it a bit bigger. But I have to say there's additional things about it, yeah? Good. Very good. Thank you. Okay? So, look to the ground. Don't forget to look all around. All the senses. The eyes of the heart see more than these eyes. Yeah? So don't forget that. The receptivity is a big part of the key. And you'll learn a lot about that in this book. A lot. Secret techniques you need to learn off someone in America for a few $1,000s. Bullshit. Just do it, man. Go out there and get the time yourself. Gain a bit of inspiration for some lovely books like this. Ahoy matakweo yasin. Danaho it is spoken aguashe. Apache Wolf Scout.